Hey everybody, I'm here to talk about the newest addition to the GGD library family. This one's called the One Kit Wonder Metal. So it's the newest pre-mixed library that they've made. This time it's voiced for metal, obviously. And I'm really excited about this one because as soon as I got it, I had to put it in a mix to see how it sounded, and it sounded pretty awesome without having to do much of anything at all. So much less than the other One Kit Wonders even. So I'm really excited to go a little more in depth with you guys and talk about this. As you can see here, it's a similar interface, a lot more symbols than I thought I would get, which is great. So real quick, I'll play the kit pieces with all the plugins in my DAW disengaged. And I'll also disengage the parallel and master EQ. And I'll go ahead and pop back in the processing, which is essentially just a couple plugins I used on this and the mastering chain. Diving into the sound of it all, I went ahead and pushed in the parallel and master EQ stuff right away because I just like that sound a lot. And I used the, in the contact window there, you can see it's just the startup preset, and then I tweaked the mixer from there. So I'll go ahead and show the mixer. I believe everything except for the overheads, rooms, and kick are set to -1. And then the kick is, okay, about 2.4, -2.4-ish. And then in terms of balance, all I did was turn up the room of the snare, I believe, and then probably down for the kick, and then the room stuff I tweaked a little, but it's very little difference between how it just loads up and what the resulting sound from me is. So yeah, very minimal stuff, and everything's pretty straightforward like the other libraries as well in these windows. So let's just play it in a mix context. This is a song from a recent client of mine, a really cool song by this band Pollen. So I'll play a few sections just to preview its versatility. So you get the idea. Just wanted to play a few different things, different grooves. And just as a reference, here's what I did with some pretty heavy processing on the P4 kit, just to get it to fit in the mix by comparison. And then again, the One Kit Wonder. So again, bear in mind that P4 kit has a lot of stuff going on, a lot of plugins and just tinkering. And this mix from One Kit Wonder here is literally me making 2 tracks in my DAW. One is entirely the shells. And the other is entirely the ambience. And just to briefly cover my processing, all I did was EQ on both, and then I'll go into the limiter in a sec. I did a high pass at 35 on the shells, and that's it, just because the kick felt a little subby, and that's really the only thing I felt needed to happen. And then this L1 is just sort of a transient safety net, I would say, for the snare drum, so it has a more even level hitting the master compression. Yeah, only one of those hits even made the limiter work at all. And then there is a parallel compression send, but that was just an already templated thing, and it's not even doing much. I'll play it again, just muted. Very, very negligible. And then the cymbals is just some EQ to soften the cymbals a bit, and then just have a little more EQ control separate from the shells. So that's really the only reason I made 2 tracks at all. I just wanted to soften the cymbals and then have the ability to do some more specific level controlling between the 2 variables here. So without any of those plugins on these 2 tracks engaged, this is what it sounds like. Back in. And that's it in terms of processing. I even did a render of the startup preset just to be more transparent with you guys to hear how this stuff sounds right out of the gate. And then I can send it to the master just for another variable there. So this thing sounds great, like especially for like writing and demos and stuff. So I'm really happy with what they did. Something I did pull up in the session that I used from the mix that I sent the band was this reinforcement snare. So I'll just add that just to add a little flavor. All you've heard so far is just the One Kit Wonder, like as it is. That's the rundown of the new kit. I hope you guys like it. I think it's really cool. Again, the fact that I had to do next to nothing to be stoked with the sound, and an actual mix too is really great. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to listen to more of me talking about mixing, really. See ya.